Greetings, Zimbabwe. Greetings, everyone who is following through. My name is. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, Zimbabwe. My name is Patience Mashid, and welcome back again to our program Behind the Mic, live here at Zimbabwe Daily. Please follow through. Please make sure that you invite others because today we are going to be talking about voter registration in Zimbabwe. As you all know, that we are a few months before the next general elections, and we would want to know what is it, how it is for the young people. Are they registering to vote? Are they ready to also participate in the next general election? So today I have a very special guest in the house from ZINASU, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and you're free to introduce yourselves.
Thank you very much. I'm Lennon Taguzo Mazuru, Zimbabwe National Students Union spokesperson, and with me here I'm with my brother.
All right, greetings Zimbabwe, greetings fellow students. Answer to the name Comrade Sitima Emmanuel, the Zimbabwe National Students Chairperson at the University of Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today, and we'll just get into today's discussion. So let's talk. How is it? How is the turnout in terms of voter registration?
Okay, so as ZINASU, we are conducting a voter registration campaign, which is called My Voice, My Vote, My Voice, My Future. So we are conducting this campaign in all tertiary institutions, including universities, teachers' colleges, and polytechnics. So as of from the beginning of this year, during the biometric voter registration, which started in February, we've been doing the registration throughout the 2 phases. And soon after those phases, we have been continuing with the campaign. So we do register students at large, especially when they are at their campuses, because those first year students and also some students which haven't voted yet. So we make sure we mobilize them. We go into classes, we go into hostels looking for those students which haven't registered yet. And also we go even into communities, making sure some youths which haven't registered to vote, we go and tell them the gospel of registering to vote.
Yeah. Okay, let me get to you. I would want to know, probably because when you're at the university, is the students from different communities. Someone might be coming from Mutora Shanga, someone from another spaces. So how is it when it comes to registering to vote? How is the response?
Well, thank you very much for the question. I think students are responding very well. It is clear that students are known as the torchbearers of the society, and they are actually reflecting that, especially at the University of Zimbabwe, since February, we've managed to register more than 5,000 students at the moment, which is a good number, which is a good turnout. And we are expecting to register more than that as we're going towards 2023 national election. But in the University of Zimbabwe, the total number of students there is approximately 23,000 students. So we are expecting to register more than 10,000 students. And it's not only students who are registering to vote, because as we are conscientizing the students on the importance of registering to vote, as I've alluded before, that students are known as torchbearers of the society. They also go into their ghettos, into their rural homes, and share the message with other fellow youth that it is upon us to register to vote, because our vote, as my spokesperson alluded before, we are running under the theme or the mantra, my vote, my voice, my future. There's this one, a wise man once said that voting is the only non-violent way we can register our grievances toward the sitting regime or the sitting government. So as the students, we are clear to our message, my vote, my future. When we register to vote, we shape our future. We are not there in universities for more than 4 years. We're just there for 4 years, and then we go. And then other students come also, and then they go. So we are workers in transit. So our tenure at the University of Zimbabwe is not more than 4 years. It's just for 4 years. So when we register to vote, we shape our future, because our vote has the power to determine whether I'm going to be employed or not after 2023 national election or after I graduate as a student. So we understand that our future lies in the power of the vote.
Yeah, maybe coming back again to you, you talked about registering these young people, these students, and are there any challenges that you have faced so far? Because we really know that as ZINASU, you are associated with a certain political party. So isn't it that political parties also feel like you are pushing an agenda?
Well, maybe before I answer that question, I must make it clear that as ZINASU, we are not associated to any political party. We are a non-partisan student union. You know, in any society, there are always those social relationships. We might have the former students in Triple C and all other opposition or
Parties, yeah.
progressive movements which are there in Zimbabwe, which is also a good thing to have social relations. But we are not affiliated to any political
Political
party.
party,
Yes,
okay.
we just find ourselves sipping from the same pond, because if you see on the vision of ZINASU is to have a democratic Zimbabwe where student rights and academic freedoms are upheld and respected. So we also want to see a democratic Zimbabwe. Of course, we might be directly against MPF because we would wish to see a Zimbabwe which is democratic, where students are not arrested for demonstrating against fees, like for asking or for speaking truth to power. We would wish to see that Zimbabwe which is free. So we might be directly against MPF, but not affiliated to any political party. So I'm sure as students are clear and understanding to that level. They know that ZINASU is non-partisan, but of course we are political. So they understand that it is our generational duty to register to vote, because we are there as students, not just because we love education, but we are expecting to earn something out of it.
Yeah.
Our parents are also expecting to earn something out of our education.
Yeah,
so
very
they
true.
understand our message and they are taking it seriously.
Wow, this is exciting. I really like this, because sometimes people tend to put politics in everything. And someone might feel, if you're asking to register to vote, I'm just asking someone to register to vote, not asking someone to vote
Vote
for
for-
party A or party B.
Yes.
So then I come back to you as Fox.
Yeah.
How are the statistics in terms of female students registration?
Okay. For as of the statistics of female students who have registered, that's the largest number of students of gender which have registered. Especially because if you look, especially when you go into institutions, I think those are the gender which is woke right now, and they are answering to the issue of registering to vote, and also they seem to be more interested. Some may not know why we must register to vote or why we should vote. So it is our mandate, as we are doing voter registration, we are also doing voter education, telling them why it is so important to vote. So as my chair has already said, as we are registering to vote and as we are waiting to go and vote, as the students, we are preserving our future. We are making sure we preserve our education. As you know, the democratic space has been shrinked as of yet. Students are being arrested for just demonstrating about fees hikes. Students, they don't have academic freedoms and rights in their institutions. Right now at Bulawayo Poly, you have heard that they have a dress code at a tertiary institutions. You see, those are some of the things which we want to vote out, because we cannot have institutions which dictate on students, especially when adult students. That's not right. So those are some of the reasons which we share with the students, especially with the females.
Because you understand each other's troubles.
Exactly.
And battles.
Yes. So we should have our academic freedoms and rights. But my chair has also said, we are citizens before we are students. And we are also citizens when we are students. And we shall remain citizens after being students. You see. So it is our mandate. We are workers in transition. When we go and vote, it means that we are voting for our works. We are voting for employment, for our jobs. That's why we want to vote. We are voting for a better health care. We are voting for better life. Our parents have been struggling as of yet. So we want to change that narrative. Yes, we want this is our generation mandate to change everything so that we have a better future. And as students, as young people, we are the sacrum of this struggle. We are the sacrum of Zimbabwe to make sure that Zimbabwe is solid again.
Exciting. To those who have just joined us, this is Zimbabwe Daily, and today in the studio, I have two energetic young people who are from the team ZINASU, and we are talking about registering to vote the students from different universities to make sure that they also decide on their future. And remember, if you're a registered voter, just dial 265 hash to check where you'll be voting at in the next general election. As we continue to talk, please send through your messages, any questions that you might have, so that we can see how we can help each other, so that you young people, you can also be able to decide the future that you need in terms of election. So maybe coming back to you, Chairperson, I also wanted to ask you in terms of young people's participation. It might maybe going to vote, or sometimes also for them to be voted for in terms of office. But also, before you share that, we were looking at the last by-election, which started in March on this. It was on the 26th of March. It is said that young people, most of the young people, are registered to vote, but they did not go to vote on the 26th of March. What do you think also is demotivating these young people to go and vote on the voting day?
Well, thank you very much. Maybe I think I must start by this quote of this great or giant leader or revolutionary Steve Bantu Biko, who once said that the greatest weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. You know, the regime or the system in Harare captured fellow youth in their mind that voting doesn't work. So the problem we are facing as of now is voter apathy in the youth. They might all register to vote, but they generally think that voting doesn't work, voting doesn't bring change they wish to see. So it's something that we need to wash away in their minds. So that needs consciousness in political education, which we are doing at the moment. And I'm sure come 2023, every youth will be conscientized and understanding that no, voting it actually works and voting is important.
But then, Chairperson, and you also spokesperson, we didn't hear you guys making noise about the 10 seats, because I think in the next general election, in terms of quota system, the young people were only awarded with only 10 seats, and we are talking about the majority of the population in Zimbabwe, which is young people. So what do you think about these 10 seats in terms of making sure that it can not only be in politics where young people can participate? We also want to see probably a minister who is young. We also want to see my managers who are also young. So in terms of participation of young people, what is wrong? What is happening?
Okay, answering to that about the quota system, which gives 10 seats to young people, I think we did petition. Yes, we did a petition, which was answering to that question of why is it young people are given such a small percentage of seats, whilst we are the large, we are the majority. If you check the demographic states, it states that the young people are above 67% of the total population. So as we walk towards the general elections in 2023, we must make sure that young people should take up posts in the government and all other spaces. They should participate, and to all political parties, they must make sure that they give room to more young people than the old ones. That's what, because as of we want some reforms that this 10 seats should be increased, totally increased, and should be also gender balanced. We should give opportunities to female, to the female. A female should lead. A female should take part, especially in decision making of the nation of Zimbabwe. So that's what we answer to, especially as ZINASU. We make sure that young people are included. Young people should take part in each and every decision making. That's why we answer to the national key question of Zimbabwe, that no. If this thing is not accommodating and including the young people, then it doesn't sit well with us, and we fight.
Maybe coming back again to you, chairperson, do you think also violence, because as we are also approaching, we are celebrating the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. So do you think these young people also are afraid to participate because of the violence that happens within the political areas, especially when we are approaching the elections?
Well, I think violence is something that personally I believe in a bottom to up approach. If we really educate young people or on the issue of tolerance and everything
Because ndo vari
related to
kupuhwa
that,
mutoriro kuti vanorova vamwe.
Yes.
exactly. You see, we are, as you said, we constitute the highest demographic dividend of this nation. We are actually 67.7% of the population of Zimbabwe. If we really conscientize the young people that no, before you affiliate with MPF or Triple C or any political party, we are brothers, we are citizens of Zimbabwe. Let's tolerate each other, irregardless of our different affiliations. We are brothers, we are citizens of Zimbabwe. Before we affiliate with those political parties, I think that alone might be able to curb those violence. Since you said that we are also in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, I must equally say this clearly, that violence alone can also be perpetrated not only by citizens, but even by the system or the government, which is here in Zimbabwe. It's also participating in violence. You see, we have former ZINASU leaders like Joanna Mamombe, Nesai Maro, and Cecilia Shimbiri, who are also victims of gender-based violence. It happens in political spaces. We have students in the University of Zimbabwe from ZINASU who are skipping lectures, who are sacrificing their times, which should be spent in lecture theaters, going to court, answering for cases or charges which are not real, charges of demonstrating for issues which are real, of asking what is rightfully belongs to the students, which is academic freedom and right to education. So such things, I think maybe to set to different organizations which are advocating for gender-based violence, they're not fashionable enough to speak against them, but gender-based violence is also happening in politics. It's something we should speak out, we should be have the guts to tell the truth. No, that's the system itself is also perpetrating on these issues. So we are saying no to gender-based violence.
Spokes, I wanted to talk about in terms of resources, because we know that you guys have been going up and down, making sure that you register people, and sometimes I even see your photos in the communities rather than just focusing on students. You're also making sure that also in the communities people are registering to vote. So in terms of resources, how is it for you? Do you have enough resources? Do you have people who are helping you? Are you looking for other people who also want to partner with you in terms of making sure that people register to vote?
Okay. The resources which we have as of now, they are not quite adequate or enough for us to carry out, because we should not be limited, especially when we are conducting these campaigns. So we are partnering with other organizations. We've been partnering with ERC as of late, but then because to them also they might get they can get they cannot
resources.
a few resources, and as students we have made sure that we take part in different organizations, like there is the Catholic Society, which is also doing this kind of campaign. They are students which are part of ZINASU. They're also doing fundraising in the Catholic Society. They make sure that the students in churches, they take part in this process. And so we also have project for 263. Yes, it's also assisting in terms of resources, but we are appealing to those who are interested to see a better Zimbabwe to partner with us as ZINASU, partner with us as students, such that we make sure that each and every young person, each and every student, each and every citizen, in fact, is a registered voter. So we are there. This is our mandate. And when the resources are there, we are at the disposal of the citizens. We are at the disposal of this nation to make sure that we work for this nation to see a great Zimbabwe.
Wow. As we are rounding off, maybe chairperson, because you said before you came here, you also left some people registering to vote at Makombe building, right? How is the response in terms of kutoshanda kwavo vanhu vezeki vacho. Are they responding quickly? Are they frustrating you guys? Because sometimes, kumira paline. This other day we were with Chelsea and we wanted to do something at the bank and we saw this huge line and we'd be like, the hours they take, sometimes people in the government and the people in the civic society, the way they work is totally different. How is the response in terms of their work?
Well, I think we must thank those guys for conducting their job quite well. We are not having problems as of yet with the SEC guys. So I think, at the moment, everything is flowing very nice. Of course, we always have queues, both students, they are students, not only students, even the citizens of Zimbabwe, they are also registering to vote. We always have queues, but people are not yet frustrated because they understand that that's the only queue which may be able to end all other queues they are having in Zimbabwe.
Yeah. So maybe you can just give us also your last words before you leave this platform. And if people would want to get in touch with you, there are students also who would want to register to vote. Probably they are from Poly or anywhere and they want to contact you. You can then just tell them your contacts so that they can get in touch with you.
Well, thank you very much. My last message to fellow students, to fellow youth in Zimbabwe is that our vote has got the power to determine our future. Our votes has got the power to determine the price of bread, the price of rice, and whether we are going to have a job or not after graduation. That's my message to the fellow youth of Zimbabwe. And my contact details is that 0772 878 925. Thank you very much.
Okay. And yes, over to you, spokesperson. What's your last words before you leave us?
My message is very clear. As I have said, as students, as young people, we are the sacrum of this nation. So we should make sure that we protect and preserve our future by registering to vote. As our vote is also our voice. It is our voice and it is our future. And it is our voice our voice against suppression. It is our voice against oppression. It is our voice against GBV. As my chair has already said, there is GBV in the political arena. We are seeing female students being arrested. And as of now, students were arrested in January, but up to now, they haven't been acquitted yet, as of yet. So we are saying no to GBV. Let the students have their freedoms. And yes, let's register to vote. Let's go and vote on the day of voting and let's defend the vote.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. And I hope you'll be able to find people who will help you in partnering with you because the resources are very important. It's good to work, but also the resources are very important. Until you come again and share the story with us, talk to my other students in council. We want to see them in parliament. We want to see them in those spaces making decisions. Thank you so much, our followers and viewers, for following through. And today we are talking about voter registration. So remember, encourage the young people to go and register to vote. Encourage them to also go and vote on the voting day. Like the ZINASU team has shared with us, that it is important for you as students to make decisions that will make sure that your future will be brighter and greater. So from us, Zimbabwe Daily team, and the ladies behind the scenes, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Until we meet again, have a blessed day.